Essentially, Sky News have actually discovered that a couple of Tory staffers, Henry Dixon-Clegg and Angus McVean, they wrote a letter to Boris Johnson asking essentially for the party to take allegations of bullying and sexual misconduct and all those kinds of things a bit more seriously. They don't feel that perhaps the party's doing enough when it comes to protecting staff, and so they kind of went round other Tory staffers to try and get them to sign, kind of co-sign this letter with them. However, turns out, in this letter, they call for, they basically say some staffers are embarrassed for the culture in politics and in Westminster, and that it's actually a kind of an environment of fear and indifference that's kind of fueling the abuse within Westminster. Now, what's really interesting is Sky News managed to see some evidence of CCHQ, Conservative Campaign Headquarters, putting pressure on Tory staffers to not sign this letter, and essentially staffers were told that there would be a black mark against their name if they were to sign this letter. So really concerning allegations there. And here's a clip from the report that's going to be airing later this evening.
We're calling for a change partly in the culture, but also the fact that these major allegations fly around as just mere gossip, and we thought that something had to be said. And we thought that staffers need a voice. This is our workplace as well. And we also wanted to create an environment where colleagues can feel comfortable to speak up about experiences that they've had.
So when you say staffers are being discouraged from signing the letter, discouraged by who?
Some staffers were saying that they were concerned about the backlash that they would receive or that their bosses would receive. And some people were saying that these messages were coming from CCHQ, others from the Whip's office.
So how many staffers do you roughly reckon were put off signing the letter?
There are a significant amount of staffers that, say, messaged us or spoke to us in person who said that they weren't comfortable with signing the letter, but that they agreed with the contents of it.
We can't give you an exact number, but I'd say perhaps of the people we did ask, I'd say maybe 60 to 70% of people.
So as you can see there, really concerning that potentially staffers are being kind of made to be potentially intimidated and not voicing concerns that they do have in their own work environment. Now, we did contact CCHQ, and the Chief Whip's spokesperson said that the Chief Whip's been talking with these staffers, very open to discussions, really concerned about their well-being, and essentially kind of, very much kind of in discussions and have introduced them to the Speaker and other bodies to kind of get this resolved and to move forward with this. However, I've been speaking to Tory MPs. One senior Tory MP told me that bullying, kind of bullying behaviour from MPs to their staff is really common and very concerning. And another Tory MP said they were amazed that more staffers hadn't signed up and that it was really quite shameful from the party.
Right, and briefly, these two more MPs putting in letters calling for Boris Johnson to go.
Yes, exactly. So we've got Elliot Coburn, Tory MP, and he has said he sent in a letter. But also we've got Jeremy Wright, former Attorney General, saying that he wants the Prime Minister to resign. So again, more pressure on Boris Johnson, post-Partygate, more pressure on the Conservative Party to potentially rethink their strategy and rethink their leadership. The only issue is, even if there were to be this no confidence vote, we know, the kind of dreaded 54 number of letters going into Sir Graham Brady. If that does hit the threshold, Boris Johnson will be sweating. However, it doesn't mean he will necessarily lose that confidence vote. That would still be up in the air. But obviously a big concern to the Prime Minister. The other thing is Tories aren't yet united on a specific candidate that they would love to replace Boris Johnson. And that is also going to be playing in Tory MPs' minds when it comes to putting those letters in and having a strategy were they to perhaps oust Boris Johnson one day.